So this module is going to focus on motivation, and I know that if you took an OB class, maybe an HR class, they probably talked about motivation, but I'm going to talk about it from the perspective of compensation. So what do compensation professionals need to know about motivation? So let's talk a little bit about the difference between motivation and emotion. So really, if you think about the term motivate, it's really about people having energy to do work with regard to the work setting. With regard to emotions, emotions are feelings. So it could be sadness, it could be ecstasy, it could be anxiety. So those are emotions. Emotions are feelings. Motivation is really energy, if you will, and cognition is thought. So when you think about motivation, we're often triggered by things, and these things are called motives. So if you think about incentive compensation and the word incentivize, so the word incentivize suggests that there's a trigger there. Yep, and that trigger stimulates you, serves as a stimulus for you to do something. So it's pretty much based on operant conditioning. And if you'll remember, if you ever took a psychology class, operant conditioning was about Skinner and the rats, and it was also about that pigeon. How can you get that pigeon to peck, peck, peck? So whenever you think about a goal can serve as a stimulus, and then if you get the desired response, then you may have a reward. So again, it's very Skinnerian with regard to the way that it's structured. So here's some questions that I'd like for you to actually write down and just think about them with regard to what stimulates you. What are your triggers? What are the antecedents to certain tasks? The first one is what motivates you to study? So not with regard to this class, but in general, what motivates you to study? So just kind of jot that down. So for some people, it might be to earn a good grade on an assignment. It might be to earn a good grade in the course. It might be for you to demonstrate how much you know or to demonstrate a skill. For some people, it's to eventually get a better job. For some people, to eventually make more money. Some people maybe to eventually make more money so you can get a Porsche, whatever it is. Some it may be to please someone that's very important to you. So that's more of an emotional aspect. What motivates you to go to work? Now, most people are going to say is, I need the money. So the motivational factor might be survival. But there are a few individuals in the world, don't know too many of them, they don't need to work with regard to a monetary point of view. So why would they go to work? Yeah, so there are other reasons why they may go to work. What motivates you to do extra work? So in a school setting, do you just read the chapters that are assigned, or do you read additional chapters? Do you read the optional readings or that which is assigned, or do you ask the professor hey, I know we're supposed to read these 50 pages, but which pages are going to show up on the test? So for people that would ask that question, which pages are going to show up on the test, you can surmise that they're motivated by getting a good grade on that test. And there's nothing wrong with that. But there may be another student that may say, I read those chapters. And they pointed to several articles. Where can I get those articles? So they're motivated by more than just simply the grade on that test. So again, I'm not judging one motivation or the other, but as compensation benefit professionals, as HR professionals, it's essential that you identify is what motivates the workforce. If you're a manager, what motivates your team or group? And for yourself, what motivates you? So you may be thinking, okay, enough already. Yep, I already took OB. I don't want to take it again. I already took, strategic HR, and they talked about this. I don't want to take it again. So what does this really have to do with compensation? So let's take a look at this. So if you'll note, you have the reward type. You also have the percent of companies that utilize it and the percent that find it effective. So I'm not going to read through that whole thing because you can read it for yourself. But the lesson is this. Is a lot of compensation, particularly variable compensation in organizations, are designed for the purpose of motivating employees to do tasks, ranging from simply your job to more than your job. That's why understanding motivation is critical. So what we're going to do within the next series of modules is I'm going to present 7 perspectives on motivation. because these perspectives on motivation may dictate the way in which you may design an incentive compensation. And they may also dictate the way in which you lead and manage people that report to you. So we're going to talk about instinct theory. We're going to talk about drive reduction theory, incentive theory, arousal theory, cognitive theory, prospect theory, and Daniel Pink's theory. And some might be saying, that's too many theories. I hate theory. All theory is a conceptual framework. I can give you a tool, but unless you know how these tools should be utilized when and for whom at what time, all you have is tools, but you don't have a tool belt. Nor do you actually have a roadmap by which you can utilize the tools. That's the purpose of theory. The other thing with regard to theory is you've decided to get a master's degree, which is a graduate degree. You decided not to go for technical training and compensation at the world of work. So when you made the decision to get a degree, de facto, there's going to be some theoretical components to it. But if you decided to take a 2-day course at the world of work, then that's going to be more skill-based than it'll be theoretical. In this course, a blend of theory as well as skills. So with that, we're going to, again, go through each one of these in little bite-sized pieces, and I'm going to begin with instinct theory.